This is Cronn with TGN, welcoming you to another World of Warcraft Cataclysm beta video. Today we're covering the first boss of the Throne of the Four Winds. This is called the Conclave of Winds. So we first went in blind, and there's 3 platforms. Now I didn't even know this was the boss. I thought this guy was a trash mob, to be honest. Because he only has 4 million health, and if you look at the map, there's not even a skull on this platform. There's a skull in the middle and a skull on the top. So I didn't even think this was trash. So very silly how we just kind of dove in here, and let's see how this run goes. Completely blind, don't know any of the boss abilities, and don't know anything at all. We did manage to get a vent, which was good. So here's the pull. We pull, and you see he starts to cast a spell called Slicing Gale. That's a single target attack. Or I think it's single target. I think it actually hits multiple targets. I'm not positive, but it's not a very powerful attack. Not a big deal. Then he starts casting this hurricane, and then things, yeah, that didn't go well. Okay, so obviously we didn't do something right. Alright, so let me just talk about how you are supposed to do this instance. You have a total of 5 platforms. So the bottom one is the entrance, you won't go back to that, and the middle one is Alakir, who is the final boss, but you don't have to worry about him, he's not even available for testing. So just concern yourself with the west, east, and north platforms. There's a boss in each one, and each boss has to die within 1 minute of each other, or else you're going to have problems. This is pretty much your 4 horsemen fight, in that you have 3 separate bosses. You have to split the raid up, and there has to be somebody within range of the boss at all times, or else they do a raid-wide instant kill, a raid-wide wipe. So don't even worry about what that wipe is, it just happens. Just make sure you have someone on the platform at all times, no matter what. Here's how you want to do your assignments. As you see on the map, you want to put a healer or a warlock on the east side. Basically, you just need someone who can keep themselves alive, as that mob is a caster and doesn't do much damage. Also needs to be someone who's fairly aware, because there's some cyclones spinning around, you know, the ones you saw that kicked us off the ledge, so they need to not get hit by those. On the west side, you have a tank and a healer, and then on the north you have everyone else, because the frost guy in the north has the most health, so you're going to start by lusting and zerging him down. The other reason this is kind of like 4 horsemen is that your DPS are going to be constantly switching back between platforms in order to kill everything. And if you're curious if there's still a tank swap like in 4 Horsemen, I will get to that subject in just a little bit. So we did a little bit of experimenting, and I had some trouble trying to tank the life guy because he spawns ads that are very hard to pick up. They're scattered all over the place. So we thought the DK tank would do a better job of it with his AoE. That left me to tank the frost guy in the north. And this went pretty well for a while, but there was a insurmountable problem here, and I'll go over that when we come to that. But in the meantime, let's look at this boss mechanics. So you see he does this conal AoE that's called permafrost. It's very nasty. He does a stacking dot called wind chill, which increases your frost damage taken. And then he puts down this frost patch, which you're not supposed to stand in like an idiot, like I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and cause a wipe here by standing in this frost, and it's going to freeze me into place. Now it freezes you into place pretty quick, but it wasn't that I wasn't reacting. It's that I honestly thought it was only slowing me, and I didn't realize that it was going to stack, and I didn't realize that that it was damaging me. So that caused us to die. So don't do that. So we got ready for our next pull, and this actually went much better until we run into a serious problem with their ultimate ability. Each of the 3 bosses has an ultimate ability that happens when they charge up the energy to 90. So just like the Omnitron Defense Council, you have to worry about the energy level, except theirs is going up instead of down. As soon as it gets up to 90, they're going to unleash their ability, and the abilities for each side are different. But I'll go through them one by one. The wind guy, and I'm sorry I didn't get any footage of this, but the wind guy is going to shoot a beam out that's kind of like the Cthulhu laser or the Mimiron laser. It's real simple. You just don't walk in it, you just run around him. That's the easiest one, and that's the most inconsequential one. The guy on the life boss gains a buff called Zephyr or something, and he just gets really, really strong for a short period of time. He gains like 225% damage, I think. So that's a cooldown popper right there. I tried kiting him around the platform, but it didn't work. Now this guy has the worst one of all. This is the one that has that makes you have to design your raid a specific way to overcome it. This he has the blizzard. It's called sleet something or something like that, but it's a blizzard attack. We always just call it blizzard. What happens is it's actually a meteor attack. We didn't know this at first, of course, but we did figure it out pretty quick. Sleet Storm, that's what it is, Sleet Storm, excuse me. Anyway, so now he sees has Conclave of Wind is nearing full strength. He's at, what, 80 energy and it's still ticking up. So when it hits 90, he's going to cast his blizzard, and it's going to hit everyone. And like I said, it's like a meteor attack. The damage is split between people. So the less people there are, the more they get destroyed. So we had no idea what was going on. I was trying to outrange it here. I think that's what I was thinking, but yeah, that had failed. We got obliterated. There is no way. With 3, you can't keep up with it. If you have 2 people and they're both healers, you might be able to power through it. But that's not necessary. So let's just skip straight into the next attempt. In the middle here, we're about to hit the blizzard. Now, we actually did a little bit better here, but we still died from something. I want to show you what killed us this time. If you look on your UI, you notice that there's already a dead guy. He's on the wind platform. At the time, we had 2 people on the wind platform, but now there's just 1, so that's about to be bad. We managed to survive this blizzard barely. If you look at the UI, everyone's health is dropping like crazy. And that only happened because we added a 4th person. But you still need more than 4. Anyway, so somehow my wind chill actually dropped off there. I have no idea how. That was just pure luck. That's all there is to it. And I'll be going more on that wind chill debuff and the horrors of that wind chill debuff later on when I talk about some of our changes in strategy. But anyway, so we lost a guy here because the damage is just too intense when you only have 4 people for the blizzard. And otherwise, it seemed to be going okay until all of a sudden there was a strange debuff on the thing, Deafening Winds, everyone's silenced. That's your raid wipe. What happened was one person on the platform with the wind was dead, and the other guy got knocked off by a cyclone. So that was all she wrote. So that's something you don't want to let happen. Like I mentioned before, people get knocked. If people leave the platform one way or another, then the raid wipes. So on to the next attempt. We're going to jump in the middle again here. Right as we hit 90, we're going to hit the first blizzard. Now, this blizzard is going to go really well, and we're finally going to lick this thing because notice we have a ton of people. And this really settles it. You've got to have a lot of people for blizzard. That's all there is to it. That's the point. And we're burning him down. Notice we've already got him to under 3 million. Was that 2.5 million? That's pretty awesome. We're going to get him even lower. Of course, we don't have his buddies down low at all, so that's a separate problem. But at least we made a good start here. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to keep getting this debuff stacked, and the longer the fight goes on, the more it stacks and the more of a problem it becomes. So the more successful we're getting, the more we're realizing how important this debuff is and how we can't keep ignoring it. I've already got it stacked up to, what is that, 9? Yeah, or 10, there we go, there's number 10. So it's adding a lot of damage. It's a lot more damage than you can handle, and you should not let it get to stack this high. It's also stacking on the healer, and we, at this time, didn't really have a good way to take care of that problem. Now, I talked before about swapping tanks like 4 horsemen. Is that what we're going to do here? No, we're not going to swap tanks, but we are going to swap healers. What happened was our Druid and our Priest from the west and north platforms would swap every now and then, and they would actually work this out over Vent. They'd say, okay, I have too many debuffs, I need to swap, and they'd try to top off their tank first, and then they'd swap. It worked pretty well, but now I've got like 13 stacks, and if you've got 13 stacks, the healer can't leave at all, because they can't top you off. I'm also blowing all my cooldowns to stay alive. There's just no way to get these stacks off as a warrior. So that comes in with tank swapping. But we didn't decide not to do tank swapping. We decided to do something else. So this is something you can consider. If you've got no way to get rid of the wind chill debuff, and you've got like a warrior and a druid tank or something like that, then unless the druids have some way to get rid of it that I don't know of, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to swap your tanks, and that's really difficult to do here because these are both melee bosses. If you swap your tanks, there'll be a moment where the boss will be running wild. So maybe you could have like a DK, DPS DK switch to blood presence and taunt for you or something. I'm not sure. But here I've got 16 stacks, and this is just getting way too much. By the way, if you're wondering what the new tree form looks like, yeah, there it is. It looks really stupid. It's really, really, really bad. Anyway, getting off topic, so this blizzard is going to be too much to handle. You want to make sure you find a way to get rid of this wind chill debuff. So what we decided to do was we were going to swap roles. I was going to tank the life boss and the life guy, and the DK was going to tank the frost guy, because he can use anti-magic shell to resist that AoE. So now that we're looking at the life boss, I want to go ahead and talk about his abilities. He has 2 primary abilities that you want to be worried about other than his ultimate. The first one is called Soothing Breeze. It's an AoE heal. It's kind of similar to Efflorescence. Matter of fact, it has the exact same graphic. So it can be confusing if you have a druid healer. Anyway, he casts it on the ground and you just got to move him out of it. Now he's going to cast it here in a minute, you'll see it. So I decided to pull him away from the middle, and there's a very important reason why you don't ever want to leave him standing in the middle, and I'll show you why in a minute. So, as you see, he's going to cast Soothing Breeze. There we go. So I'm going to pull him. Now, he has a huge hitbox, so it's a little difficult to pull him. Now, keep an eye on his energy. It's at, what is it, at about 25. When it hits 30, he's going to start spawning those ads I talked about. The spell is called Nurture. So I'm going to call out over Vent, and all the DPS are going to transfer. They're already in the middle of transferring now. because these ads are no joke. These little flower guys, they spawn all over the place. They're very hard to pick up, and even once you do have them all up, once they've been up a little bit, they start doing this AoE explosion crap, which just kills everything, and it's no joke. I mean, some of them are even starting to do it now. So you don't want to even mess with that. You want to get all your DPS over there and kill them as soon as humanly possible. Plus, he will cast his stupid Soothing Rains AoE heal stuff on top of the plants, and it will heal them to full, and it will silence you. And if that's very maddening, because you can't thunderclap when you're or challenging shout when you're silenced. So I got caught with that a couple times. Anyway, so once the ads are dead, the DPS transfer back to platform and start working on the boss. Now, this is why I'm going to show you here in about, he's at about 80. When he hits 90, you'll see why we don't want to tank him in the middle. He's not tanked in a great position here. He winds up casting the Soothing Breeze there in the middle. Then when he hits 90, he's going to port right back to the middle and start casting Zephyr. This is his ultimate ability. Now keep in mind, all the DPS have transferred back to the north platform, so they're splitting up the damage on the Blizzard now. If you take a look at the boss's health from the raid window on the right side of your window, you're going to see the top boss is the Frost boss, and he's down to about 2.5 million, so he's dropping fast. After this phase, they're going to want to go ahead and split DPS, and I'll get to that back in a second. Now here's Zephyr. He's got 225% increased damage bonus. I popped Shield Wall early just to get through this. I tried kiting him once, but it didn't work. His hitbox is too big. Maybe it's possible to kite him with Aspect of the Pack or something. I don't know. That sounds kind of crazy. I don't know. There's probably some really cool technique for surviving that, but the way we did it was just to muscle through it. Healer spam heals, tank, use your cooldowns. It doesn't last very long, so that's why I'm thinking probably you're meant to tank it. But anyway, once you survive it, the DPS split up. You're going to have some of your DPS pre-assigned to jump over to the life platform, and some of your DPS pre-assigned to jump over to the wind platform. You want to have 2 ranged DPS on the wind and the rest of your DPS on the life platform. You need to have 3 over here because this boss is going to be getting healed constantly, and because you want to have enough DPS to kill these stupid plants. Because they're a serious problem. They really, really are a problem. They're like one of the toughest things here. Anyway, but it also helps if you have someone that can help you with your crowd control. That DK was really awesome with Hungry and Cold, so I hope he watches this, because really he did a great job with the Hungry and Cold on this fight, and other pulls as well. The one nice thing about being a warrior here is if you manage to get kills on these flowers, you can use Victory Rush and get like 30% of your health back. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, so they're getting ready to do another cycle. I just pulled him out of that heal, and he's about to cast Zephyr again. Now, what's going to happen is all the DPS are going to have to transfer back to the Blizzard, because remember, that Blizzard is still going to kill the healer and the tank that's up there. Now, they're going to have to keep easy on the DPS. The guy's at 1.5 million. If they over DPS it, he'll get killed. And then what's going to happen is he's going to start casting a spell that does bad things. And honestly, I'm not sure what happens if you kill them out of order. I think they just come back to life, or they wipe the raid or something. But regardless, it's not something you want to mess with. Now, this cycle just repeats itself every 2 minutes, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to near the end of the fight. Now, you'll notice that the north boss is about 400,000 health, and the east boss, the wind boss, is also about 400,000. 2 DPSers on the east side actually kills that boss very quickly because they don't have to contend with all the ads and all the healing and all that stuff. Now, notice how when he jumps back to the middle, if there had been a healing spot there, it would have been disastrous, because we had worked so hard to get this far down to get him so low, and if he were able to heal up there, that would have been awful. He does gain a little bit of healing from his Zephyr, but that's not a big deal. Being in the circles, it's huge. He'll gain like over 1 million health from that. So now that he's down low, the other guys are down low as well. They're in what we think is the kill threshold. So we're going to have all the DPS transfer, and we're going to burn this guy down. He's going to be our first kill target. And the reason we choose the life guy, and this is definitely what you want to do, is because, first of all, the stupid ads, once he's dead, everyone can leave and you don't have to worry about the ads. Second, because of the heals. If you were to attack him last and he was a heal up or something, and it would delay your kill, that's not good. Keep in mind you have a full minute window to kill these bosses, so you can afford to have them at like 300, 400,000. Now, if you're watching very carefully, you might notice the north boss is down under 300 now. That was just because of the incidental DPS, the tank, and DPS done while people are over there absorbing the Blizzard. Now, he's finally going to go down 200, 300, 200. I'm on the edge of my seat. I don't know about you, but this is absolutely, certainly the closest we'd ever been. We'd never gotten to this far, and it would take something really bad to wipe us now, wouldn't it? Now there's a heal in a bad spot in the middle, and that had me really worried. Now you see he starts to generate his gathering strength ability. and now you've done it. You've killed the first guy, and he starts to cast his spell that either wipes you or does something bad. Now, I noticed he kept gaining health, so I was still wailing on him, but you don't need to stay. And then, oh my god, they died. I can't believe it. Yes, we actually won. You thought it was going to end like the Almatron video with no kill, but no, we actually killed him. And there's no loot, though, so you are disappointed a little bit that there's no loot. And of course, God knows I only did this for the loot, so this was totally not even worth my time. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so this was a lot of fun. We finally killed this guy, and it was a real challenge. I really enjoyed it. My only concern for this encounter is that most of the challenge came from the fact that we had absolutely no idea what we're doing. Watching videos like this or looking up the strategy online is going to make this really easy in the future, but that really depends on what Blizzard's plans are. Is this instance supposed to be difficult, or is this instance supposed to be Naxxramas? I don't know. But either way, I had a lot of fun with this raid. So, thanks for watching. As always, please rate, please comment, and please subscribe.